What's up, Techno fam? Chana D or Techno Dad here, and in today's video, I'll be reviewing the REL HT1003 subwoofer, and we're gonna get into it right after the jump. And I'm back. Now, before I begin, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to REL for sending these two subwoofers over for me to review. So thank you guys so much. And of course, I want to give a big shout out to my patrons on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for supporting my work here on YouTube. Now, there were a lot more signups last month at the $5 level to get access to the Dolby Atmos demos from 2016 and 2018 demo discs. But stay tuned, patrons, as I will be uploading demo discs from DTS:X and IMAX Enhanced in the coming months. If you'd like to get access to these and become a patron, check out the link down in the description and become a patron today. All right, now that all that housekeeping is out of the way, let's get on to the unboxing. The HT1003 comes double boxed, and I laid it on its side so you can see how well it's packed. They used a super thick foam padding on the top and bottom, and the subwoofer is all wrapped up. In the box, we have an IEC power cable and 4 rubber feet, which I will not be using, and of course, you get a grill as well. Once I got the HT1003 out of the wrapper, I was surprised at the size of the subwoofer, as it is very small and compact. The HT1003 retails for $499 and has a 10-inch carbon glass woofer mated to a 300 watt Class D amplifier and goes down to 24 Hz at -6 dB. The back is laid out as expected. Top left, we have an LED indicator, power switch, which I leave in the middle position for auto on, phase switch, crossover selector, level knob, and RCA inputs and outputs, with one being designated for the LFE input. And on the right, we have a power port and power switch. On the top, we have a piece of black glass with the REL logo, which gives it that premium look. With the grill on, the HT1003 is pretty discreet looking, especially due to its size. Speaking of size, here it is next to its bigger brother, the HT1508 Predator. As you can see, the 1003 is pretty small and compact. So I know the question on your mind right now is, well, Techno Dad, does this little subwoofer bring the bass? Well, before we get into that, I would like to give you guys a little reminder or a heads up if you didn't already know. If you like bass and want to give your system a workout, join me on Saturdays on my Twitch channel where I do a live DJ stream. It's called Subwoofer Workout Saturday, and it's from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on my Twitch channel. The link is in the description if you want to go follow, and you should probably download the Twitch app on your Roku, Apple TV, Nvidia Shield, Xbox, or PlayStation platform. I decided to set up both HT1003s here in the studio, as this is a smaller space and my living room is around 4,300 cubic feet, which, you know, even when having a 12-inch subwoofer, it feels like I don't have enough bass. So currently upstairs, I'm running two 15-inch HT1508 Predators, which moves a ton of air and pressurizes that room really well. So I figured the HT1003s would be perfect in this room. It's 14 by 10 with 8-foot ceilings, so we're at about 1,120 cubic feet, and you know, the 210s would probably do better in this space as opposed to upstairs. I put one in the front of the room next to the front stage and one in the back of the room. I have these going through a Denon X3600H, and I've paired them up with these 7 mix cubes, which are 5¼ inch drivers that go down to 90 Hertz. And I gotta say, having all these little speakers at ear level, like all of them surrounding my one single solitary chair, it's pretty awesome. You guys got to try it sometime, and maybe I'll make a video about this little setup soon. After running Odyssey, I went ahead and changed a few settings on the sub, and these are the settings I landed on for both HT1003s. Pretty much having the level between 2 and 3 o'clock. So once that was done, I gotta say, these little subs had this room rocking. I had like a 2-hour demo session a week or two ago, and it was like a Friday night, and when I was done, I went upstairs, and my wife and kid were watching a basketball game, and she just looks at me and she's like, "Oh, did you have fun down there?" I was like, "Yeah, why? Could you hear it?" She's like, "It sounded like you were gonna break the house."
Sauron, the enemy of the free peoples of Middle-earth, was defeated.
So, hey, You know, that's definitely a good sign. I don't think I would break the house with these two 10-inch woofers. I mean, the 15s upstairs would definitely break the house. I don't think I've taken those past like midnight or 1 o'clock on the level knobs. So yeah, those things will definitely do some damage. But here in this room, in this space, these 10-inch subwoofers do a fantastic job. And yeah, I might have to like try to keep these. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure you're going to want some sort of comparison. And I actually haven't had too many 10-inch subwoofers in for review due to the fact that the living room is so large. However, I did have that 3-pack from OSD Black. It was part of that huge value package where they're selling 11 satellite speakers and 3 10-inch subwoofers for $700, which is a smoking deal. So I had those 3 subwoofers here in the studio, one in the front of the room and the other 2 were here in the back of the room. So as far as comparing it to the Rels, this is the only like direct comparison I have. So the best way to describe it is I did get a good amount of bass from the OSD Black speakers. However, moving to the Rels, I just noticed that the bass was tighter, cleaner, more articulate, and the OSDs seemed a little more sloppy overall as opposed to the Rels. So the bass got a little tightened up and it sounded better overall in the room when I had it set up with the same speakers. Now my situation is I live in a place where it's hard to go demo any of these kinds of things. And so I'm used to shopping online and I'm pretty much looking at specs. And when you're looking at subwoofers in this price range, sure, you'll find some that go lower and you're like, well, you know, this Rel doesn't really do that. And it does the lower notes very well. It might not do it at the same volume level. And a lot of these other speaker manufacturers or subwoofer manufacturers, I mean, are using DSP to achieve those lower ranges of sounds. Now, the one thing that Rel doesn't do is DSP, because, you know, they're from the 2-channel situation and a lot of those 2-channel amplifiers don't have any time delay to compensate for the DSP in a subwoofer, so they have traditionally not run DSP in any of their subs. That's not to say you can't run some DSP, and I think for their home theater line, honestly, you are using it with an AV receiver. That's something that they should probably look into. I know that's like against their whole situation, like they want to be like the purest kind of thing with, especially with 2-channel, and I get it for 2-channel, but these are their home theater lines, so why not add some DSP and get these suckers down to 20, flat down to 20 hertz like Joe and Tell always wants. So I don't know, maybe that's something for Rel to think about. Who knows? I do know there are some products that you can use yourself to add DSP to your subwoofers and get them to, you know, perform the way you want them to perform in your room. Of course, you need like a UMIC 1 REW and a mini DSP and you know, some time to tinker with all of that and get it all dialed in. Anyway, if you're in the market for a subwoofer or 2 for a small room like this, 1120 cubic feet, maybe 1500 cubic feet, maybe even like 1800, I don't know, maybe that's a little too much. And if you're looking for smooth, tight, articulate bass and you don't need it to, you know, tickle that brown note of yours, you might want to check out the Rel HT1003. I'll put links down in the description. Again, big thanks and shout out to Rel for sending these over for me to review. Thank you guys so much. And if you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments or hit me up on social or email, whichever you like to use. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. If you liked it, go ahead, smash that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel using the button in the middle of your screen. Once again, my name is Chana D. I'm your Techno Dad, and I'll see you next time.